Howdy, folks. I'm Mark, and today I am joined by a new challenger, Dalton Fuller. Dalton, thank you for joining me for this short talk about video games.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, absolutely. You are listening to Quick Play, so let's get right into it. So, Dalton, this is your first time on the podcast, and you had the experience of I send you a short list of possible topics. Let me know if there's anything that catches your eye. You can kind of talk through topics. Most of those are kind of like short or long question format. But in the midst of that bullet list, there is one bullet with just lizard brain and no other explanation. And you responded back, that one. I want to do that one. And also another one too that I'm very excited about. We will get there when it's at a later time. But so lizard brain, I want to start out with, what does lizard brain mean to you, especially when it comes to video games?
It means those video games that it's not, there's no deep reason, anything why you like it. It just satisfies something in your brain. It just makes you happy. Like it's just some deep itch that you've got back here.
Yeah.
That game just hits. It's not like, oh, it didn't move me emotionally. It's like, no, I clicked the button and I'm happy.
Yes. That's a great way to put it. A nice summary. I've been thinking about this in like the experience of playing a game and kind of the it's kind of, I've actually Googled what is lizard brain, and because I know this concept, I never actually what is this definition? And like Google will tell you it's like the primitive instinctual part of your brain when you're making snap decisions, you're kind of foregoing all rational thought. To me, that's kind of just like the nice comforting place when you're just really not thinking about much at all. And like different games will kind of put me in that space. It's kind of an experience of playing the game. Does it for you? Is that like kind of what you're thinking, or is it kind of more
Yes.
okay? Like
Yeah. It's like when you are you're locked into it. Time is melting away.
Yes,
You're so into it for whatever reason. It's just, you're not human anymore. You just,
you become a lizard.
You become a lizard.
Yes, yeah. I feel like it's best when it's like I'm not even thinking about the game. It's just my mind is empty and it's kind of a flow state.
Yes.
It's just kind of like, I thought about it as like your mind's taking a breather.
Yeah.
And yeah, before we go further, what sorts of games that really kind of hit that lizard brain itch for you?
The immediate one, which is probably because it's like one of my favorite games, it's Destiny.
Okay.
Destiny 2, it is absolutely exactly what we're talking about when I'm playing that game.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't have to think about it. I don't have to. I mean, obviously in certain parts of that game you do, but for the most part, you don't.
Sure.
I am just shooting things and making lights show up and numbers are flying out and I'm just happy.
Yes.
Yeah, and the numbers are going up and I don't, exactly like you said, I don't have to think hard about it. I can just flow into that game.
Mm-hmm. I feel like there's one of the things you can kind of get into in talking about this is like, do hard games really do this for you? Do you feel like that? Like, I don't really like difficult games or punishing games that much anyway, but like, does Dark Souls or a Soulsborne game do that for you at all?
No, because I'm bad at them. I feel like if I were better at them, it would probably would. Like, I suffered my way through Elden Ring and beat it. And loved it. But I never felt like I was like in a flow state in that game. It was always like, I can't believe I won.
Gotcha. Yes. Oh man. Yeah. I feel like for me, the experience of like punishing games is like, everyone talks about that like achievement high once you get past things. Like for me, it's like, I cannot believe I spent so much time on this stupid boss. Like, I'm so done. It's just more frustrating. But like for me, some of the best lizard brain games are really like platformers. Like Super Mario World is just a comfort game. Can't speak. Super Mario World is just like a comfort food game for me in general. But like, it's just hold down Y, press B when you need to, hold down the right button, and just keep going. And like, it's so familiar at this point. It's kind of just vibe out.
Right. You don't need all of your brain. Like you need just a little bit of it that knows that game perfectly.
Yes. And everything else is like reflex.
Yeah.
And like Tetris is also kind of this quintessential
yeah.
one where it's like you like if you think too hard about Tetris, you will lose Tetris.
Right.
And then one other for me is like the SSX games. I like particularly On Tour is not
Yes.
the most popular one, but it's like kind of the one I hold most dear. There are times where it's like turn on free ride, start at the top of the mountain, and just coast down
Get some
and make it.
combos.
Yes, exactly.
That puts
Yeah.
Olli Olli in my head, and
Oh,
that was a huge Lizard Brain game for me, especially on like I guess two was on Vita, and I
yeah.
would just take that with me like in college to class, and it was just like, oh, I need to kill 30 minutes. Like, let me see if I can get a million combo. And that
Oh,
game is just
nice.
pure flow state. So
Nice.
I definitely get the SSX thing.
Yes. Man, I don't know if I've ever actually played the original Olli Olli. I like played a little bit of Olli Olli World,
Yes,
which is
love that one.
similar. I guess,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Is that one kind of as how similar is it to the original, or is it?
It's like that one's more involved, I guess you would say. Like the original it's like all 2D. It's not really like I know in Ollie Ollie World there's like the different like front and back tracks.
Yeah.
Like one is really just like it's one track. You know, it's get the best score you can on it. There may be like different like vertical levels, but so they've kind of just like gotten more involved as
Gotcha.
a franchise I also love.
Nice.
Because
Good.
of the Lizard Brain thing of just like getting that high score in that game and just nailing the combos and just kind of getting into that flow state. It's like that whole game.
Nice. Oh man. Yeah. It's just nice to like
Yeah.
have these. And it's like not the place I want to be in all like I don't want every game to be like it.
No.
But it is just kind of like it's a nice break. I guess so.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear too, like how have Lizard Brain games been a benefit to you? Like have you enjoyed that break? Like yeah.
Yeah. I think it was exactly what you said. It's just sometimes you have a hard day and you don't want to come home and struggle in a video game.
Yeah.
On top of that, like, you don't want this is your hobby. It's what you do for fun. So it's like I think those games are perfect for that of just like I know I can come into this game and it's guaranteed a fun time.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. Like I don't have to worry that, oh, I'm stuck on this really hard part or I'm at an annoying section or a level I don't like. It's like, no, I know if I sit down and play this game, I will have fun. And
Yes.
so for me, especially now, like as you know, as an adult who has way less time to play video games,
Yeah.
those are cherished. Those are
Yes.
those are your golden gooses.
Yes. Oh yeah. And like I feel like I'm noticing I keep on going back to game like I'm not normally a person who's like a repeat consumer. Like if I've seen a movie, like I've seen it. I only see it again. Similar with games where it's like I don't really replay games that much. I've done that a lot this year.
Yeah.
Like SteamWorld Dig and I mean Stardew Valley is one that I keep coming back to all the time. And I also had a big update, so it's like, well, it's a nice excuse.
Now I have to.
Yeah, exactly. I don't twist my arm. I'm sorry. And so yeah, have you noticed if you're like is it any games that are like you're replaying them hits this for you?
Replaying, I would say not as much. Like I think I'm like you where I don't really replay a lot of games. I guess like again, like back to Destiny, are you replaying that game always? Kind of the whole point of the joke about it. So I guess that whereas like I am always just playing that game forever.
Yes.
I don't know that I have any like single player games that I'm going back to that I'm just like, oh, I gotta beat this again to feel something.
Sure.
Like the Last of Us, which is the opposite of this question.
Sure. Yeah,
but
sure,
it's like probably the only few games I've replayed.
Gotcha.
But no, I think it's like I think those Lizard Brain games for me, like the comfort ones, are the ones that like you can't beat. Like there's something about like I can always just dip in. Like there's always something to play.
Yeah. Stardew Valley is that for me. Yeah, definitely.
Animal Crossing for my wife. Like, you know, she can just always, it doesn't matter if she abandons it for a year. She's like, oh, 6 hours today. I've decided I'm playing Animal Crossing again.
Yes. Yeah, I feel like you have those friends in your life where it's like, you don't see them or talk to them for a year. And then you like talk to them again. It's like nothing has changed. Like no time has passed. That's a Lizard Brain friend, I guess.
That's right. That's your Lizard Brain friend. Yeah. You can always in the back of your head. It's just easy.
Yeah. Like no bad thoughts about them. Just like, oh yeah, I need to reach out to this guy. Do you feel like is there any difficulty kind of slipping into the Lizard Brain mode, or is it easy for you?
I definitely have to be in the mood.
Okay.
Because I'm a person that likes to get like emotional experiences out of like my media. Like I like
Yeah.
to have that evoked. So I'm not always in the mood for these games for sure. So I definitely go into like peaks and valleys. It's usually when I start playing Destiny again.
Yes.
It's like watch the curve. It's like, oh, Dalton
Yes.
doesn't feel like thinking for when he plays video games for the next few months. So
Yes.
I would definitely have to say I'd have to be in the mood for them.
Sure. Yeah, I feel similarly. I think there's a lot of like my default setting with video games is like I want to be engaging with what I'm consuming and like
Mhm.
parsing it. Like is there a message behind this? Like
Yeah.
is there, or even just now that I have this podcast, like I'm always thinking about how am I going to talk about this on the podcast, and like so it's kind of it's become a lot harder to turn it off. Um, I think in a deeper sense as well. Like I don't I tend to not think escapism is a really good thing,
Yeah.
which but I just described about earlier about like lizard brain being a nice break for the brain. Like that might I think that's also kind of just escapism. Like that's I
Yeah.
don't want to like
Shut down.
right, but it's
Yeah.
like it's really nice and like kind of has its place. But I'm also like I need to fight back against my own kind of productivity mindset.
Hmm.
Because even there's just the perception and stereotype of video games that like you turn into a brain dead zombie of
Waste
like
of
while staring.
time. Yeah.
Right, like a little bit of drool slipping out of your
Yeah.
mouth
Yeah,
as
it's
you're
that
playing.
Fairly Odd Parents scene.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
It's eyes are
exactly.
bloodshot. Yeah.
Yes. Oh man, that's a great image. And like I don't want to be that, and it's
Right.
like, well, that's not the point. Like, yeah. So I like really want to be better at um kind of letting myself get into this. And I feel like actually replaying these games has been helpful because it's like I'm
Yeah.
not trying to digest it for the first time. I kind of know what I think about them.
Right. You don't get stuck into like this is new, so I have to play it.
Yes.
You can instead go like, oh my lizard brain wants to play this game. I'm just gonna play it. Like give
Yes.
into it. I run into that too. Especially with like I movies is like probably number one, video games number two, and I
Yeah.
run into that all the time of being like, I have to watch these new movies, but I'm like, but I want to
Uh,
watch Lord of the Rings. And it's
yes.
like, just
Yeah.
watch Lord of the Rings. You know, it's okay. It's like I feel wrong. So it's like,
Yes.
yeah, I agree. It's like sometimes you feel like you just need to give in to these urges. A little treat. These
Yes.
your lizard brain games.
Yes. Oh man, it's a nice break. I think like I also like I've had this whole journey of selling my Xbox and like playing primarily through Game Pass and feeling like that's not really kind of how I want to play games anymore. That did shift where it's like it went from it's like, oh, I gotta consume and digest all these games that I have for a month before they go away. And I think I'm just enjoying and these games a little more that I have time and yeah,
Right.
can
Give it a
just
little more
go with the flow.
substance.
Yes,
Yeah.
just go with that flow. Um, well, our time is short here. I want to ask, as I feel like I could probably guess where you're going with this, but as an all or nothing, would you want only lizard brain games while like only well, would you want only lizard brain while playing video games or never tapping into it?
I would have to be never.
Yeah.
I think as sad as it would be to let them go,
Right.
I value the emotional experiences in video games. You know, me crying at the end of God of War Ragnarok. I'd rather have that than
Sure.
the 400 times I ran that mission in Destiny to get a gun. You know,
Yes.
as much as I cherish them both.
Yes. It's important to cherish those. That's kind of I had it on the list as a topic for so long. Is like yeah, I want to point out and appreciate these times.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not surprising. I'm probably right there with you too. Where it's like I'd rather have the deep engagement than the brain deadness, even though the brain deadness is also kind of nice sometimes.
Absolutely. You got to
Yeah.
have both.
Yes.
I think the balance of them makes each of them better. Like
Yes.
when you
Oh,
kind of
good
go
point.
on
Yeah.
to that, when you kind of go into that where you play the brain dead
Yeah.
games for a while and then you get that good like engaging game again, it just like feels you just like it hits different. And then
Yes.
the vice versa thing happens too whenever you've been like especially if it's like emotionally draining or whatever and you finish it and then you just go back to just shooting zombies or something and
Yes.
you're like, yeah, this is good too.
I
They
mean,
bring each other up.
yes. Oh man. I've heard of so many people that like will play one of each kind of back and forth, like
Mm,
even at the same, well, not literally the same time, but like
yeah.
playing them concurrently of like playing a 80-hour JRPG while also playing God of War Ragnarok, something like
Right.
that. So, um, Anything else before we stop? Anything else on your mind or that you gotta get off your chest?
I don't think so. You brought up Game Pass, and I do think that Game Pass like evokes lizard brain more because you start just trying to find those games that are on that service forever that you can tap back into.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that, like a service like Game Pass, where it gives you such a smorgasbord of games, you start gravitating towards those ones that you can just dip back into that service.
Interesting. Good point. I feel like I was using it more for like the one and done narrative experiences.
I can see that too.
But
it's like the most played, like when I had Game Pass, maybe it's just me, but when I had Game Pass, my most played game on Game Pass was always Forza Horizon 5. Because I could just always boot that game up for 45 minutes and play it, and it was just always available on the service.
Right. Like I'm subscribed, it's there, I'll kick back into it.
Maybe that was a me thing. Maybe it's a me problem.
No, I think I'd think about if I did that more too. I do kind of miss that, of like being able to just hop into some of those games that I enjoyed. Well, that's a good topic for another time. Maybe we'll circle back to that. Well, Dalton, at the end here, we have one final segment. We gotta know, what are you playing?
Currently, like everyone else, Pokemon TCG Pocket.
Oh, nice.
Very casually. I'm really just kind of opening packs twice a day, seeing what I get. Yeah, that's what I'm not battling too much. Just the challenges.
Nice.
I've unfortunately fallen back down the Black Ops 6 rabbit hole. Call of Duty, so I've been playing that. Speaking of lizard brains.
Yes.
Great lizard brain. That's my lizard brain game right now.
Nice. Oh, so man.
And then the flip side, like I said, we talked need balances. I am about 6-7 hours into Metaphor ReFantazio.
Okay.
Now. Really enjoying it so far. Again, like just Atlas, great character. You know, they know it.
Good stuff.
Yeah, everybody knows.
It's a really great game so far. People love it.
Yeah. So I'm excited to spend 60, 70 more hours there. And then finally, always, especially now it's on mobile, Balatro.
Oh man, I am
always
so close to. I haven't played it yet. I haven't bought it yet, but I'm so close to just getting on mobile.
Absolutely sickening that they put that game on mobile. Just a disgusting act for my productivity and battery life.
Oh man, they had like a great ad when they announced that, of like fully knowing like, yeah, we're gonna kill all of your productivity.
Yeah,
like it's over for you.
They were right. It's such a good game. It's just amazing. Man. It's like Lizard Brain, but you do have to think hard about that game. Like it's both.
I was actually I wanted to ask about Balatro, but I was like, well, I guess you're kind of thinking about that more often, but
no, because every time I think I'm in a flow state with that game is when I mess something up and like ruin a whole run. So I'm always thinking very hard.
Oh, nice. Well, good stuff. For myself, what am I playing? I need to keep going back in Dave the Diver. I've fallen off that, so I'm gonna say that I'm playing Dave the Diver so that I play some Dave the Diver.
Forces you.
There we go. Accountability. Well, Dalton, thank you again for joining me. Great job being here for the first time. You did excellent. Hope we'll have you back. But
absolutely.
In the meantime, where else are you out on the internet?
Honestly, the only place I would say shout out, follow me, and this is if you watch movies, is this app called Letterboxd.
Yeah.
It's social media for movie sickos. So that's the only place I actually post consistently too much. So follow me at Letterboxd. Calcifuller Fuller is CALCIFULLER.
Perfect.
It's pretty much the only place it's worth following me.
I think that's the first time I've had someone like reference their Letterboxd. So well done.
Nice. All right. It would definitely be me would be the first.
Yeah.
I'm always talking about Letterboxd.
Perfect. Spread the good news that way.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all for listening in. You can follow us on the major podcasting services or on YouTube and press all the good buttons if you enjoyed the conversation. You can also find us on the proper socials at QuickPlayPod and let us know what's your favorite Lizard Brain game. That's all the time we have for today. Thanks. Bye.